Hey, good morning, guys. Well, I was up late reading some uh, more literature regarding, my two books that I'm reading now is Held, Hell to Health, and then also Will I Ever Be Good Enough? So I was up late last night reading those books, and so I just wanted to come here today to take the time to share with you that healing for each one of us is not linear. Now, once you start to incorporate those healing tools into your box, you'll start to understand what resonates with your soul. So every morning, or when I wake up, I start with this believe in God day by day, and I read what it has for me for the day. So start with that. I do a lot of research throughout my day because I am so intrigued by what the heck do you do to heal from the pain that you're living in. Now, part of healing and part of training your soul is to kind of learn to be happy no matter what situation you're in. And I think that when you start to kind of incorporate these tools into like a very stressful situation, your house could be burning down, right? That's super emotional. That's going to raise intense emotions, right? So the thing of it is to remain calm through it all. Remain calm. And whether that be lighting incense or praying or taking a moment to sit with your soul or learning what it is that you're trying to heal from, right? So one tip that I have, someone who deals with narcissistic in the medical term and selfish in the biblical term, how do you handle that? Well, a tip that I was learning out of my book, Will I Ever Be Good Enough? I found this tool that if you buy a doll that resonates or looks like you, to stick it on the couch and pretend it's your inner child that was either neglected, emotionally neglected, whatever it was neglected when you were a child. And imagine yourself in that doll sitting there on that couch and you looking at it, and that's you. And addressing what it needs. Does it need a nutritional meal? Does it need some sleep? Does it need, some nurturing? What is it? And pretend that doll is you. So I don't have a doll that looks like me, but I found one that from when I was a kid. Somehow I still had it in a bin, and I took it out last night and I put it on the couch. And it's a good reminder. So this morning I walked out and I said, oh, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. So instantly, instead of sitting down and hopping on the computer, I said, I need something to eat. So I made something to eat, sat down, and it's just a good reminder when I look at it. So that's just another tool that I dug out. Also, looking spiritually, like at your aura, is it intense? All right, let's try to decompress. Let's try something that will decompress those strong emotions, because strong emotions exert so much energy from our being. So taking a moment to kind of pause, taking a moment to take some breaths, taking a moment to feel the ground beneath your feet, grounding. Some people let's notice 3 things in the room. Let's see what we can smell in the room. Let's see what we can hear in the room to kind of bring us back into our body. Also, another thing that I found helpful is noticing the ground beneath my feet. Feeling, is it cold? Is it warm? Is it groovy? Is it soft? Is it leveled? Feeling those things and really focusing to bring my attention back into my body. So those are some things that when you're trying to decompress in a very stressful situation is bringing your soul back to itself so it doesn't linger away. What can you do to bring your soul back? Breathing, burning some incense, listening to some spiritual music, some gospel music. What is it that lights your soul on fire to bring that joy, but also decompressing the tension? So I just wanted to share that piece of information with you this morning. Yes, I've got messy hair. Right now, do I care? Absolutely not. So I felt it was more important to come on and share that with you before I went ahead and attacked my hairdo this morning. So, anyways, hope all is well, and learning to decompress those strong emotions and learning to do what sets your soul on fire with the time that you have on this earth. Thank you for tuning in, and hope everyone has a great afternoon, safe afternoon, and just again, there's no shame based in here. This is all about learning, and the more that you learn, I feel like the more you can understand what triggers you in this world. Understand it, understand where it comes from, and then recognizing that and learning to say, I've been here before. I'm not going to let this steal my joy. So I wanted to share that piece of information with you. Now, to actually get on a leveled ground of actually learning who you are in this world, and learning the triggers and the emotional piece of it all, whether that be from your family line, whether that be from unhealed traumas within your life that you haven't yet attacked instead of pushed under the rug. They're always going to continue to come back and face you. They're going to revisit you because they'll always be under that rug. Unfortunately, we can hide them. The traumas, the fears, the emotional aspect, we can continue to hide them under the rug. But eventually that rug is going to get worn out and it's going to come back. So learning to deal with it, taking a moment when you feel your body, your soul reaching to its level of it's going to freak out. What do you do to decompress or give it its nutrition, so to say? What do you do? So I'm staring over at my yoga ball. My yoga teacher gave me a while ago. I'm not in yoga anymore. But I look at that because I think of myself right now doing a big stretch, right? Just got out of bed, kind of. Let's go do a big stretch over that yoga ball to just stretch all the ligaments out of my body, right? So a good stretch is what my soul needs right now. So what am I going to probably do? Probably go over there on that yoga ball and do a nice big stretch. Learning who you are, learning your soul, because no matter what happens, your physical body, right? Your physical body could be searching for safety. Your physical body could be closing in and isolating because it's looking for safety. Your soul, though, will always know what it needs. Your soul will always do what it needs. So as much as your physical body can't take over because it's under stress, it's in the fight or flight mode, it's going through anxiety, and you're panicking, you're down on your hands and knees, your soul inside of you is amazing. It always knows what it's supposed to do. It always knows, your soul. I can resonate with that because when I was going through my mental health crises, my body was like, oh my gosh, get me out of this situation, right? Run here, run there, get me out of this situation. I can't deal with this anymore, right? Well, my soul knew what it needed. Thankfully, it kicked in. So I think it's so important to get into that healing phase, to learn what it is that you need to incorporate in your body. Might be different from somebody else, might be different from me, but what you need to do to heal. And I don't mean by doing drugs. I don't mean by doing sexual acts on one night stands. I don't mean eating excessively to the point you're bloated. That is all unhealthy. That is what your physical body thinks it needs because it's breaking down. It needs food because it's depressed. It needs to sleep all day because you're depressed. But I can tell you, once you can start to incorporate the healing techniques within inside of yourself, you can get to a point where you can wake up every day leveled. Start on a level mind. Be kind to yourself. And just learn. And realize that this world is made up of worldly things. Everyone, right, has something in their closet that hasn't been exposed. Something they're dealing with. And I believe that we all react on our own mindsets based on the mold that we grew up in. So some things like, for instance, your spouse does can remind you of something that happened in your childhood. And now you're having a very irregular marriage because something they're doing is triggering something from your past. And it's revisiting those unhealed wounds, right? So let's heal. Let's heal from past traumas, right? So it's taken me about 30 years to kind of address all the traumas that have happened within inside of my life. As a child, I've had to do external exercises like putting a doll on the couch to resemble my inner child. So I knew how to take care of my inner child because my inner child was neglected. So I had to relearn how to revisit those traumas in my way of knowing how to comprehend and what resonated with my soul to seal up those unhealed wounds. And every now and then they will revisit me and they sting. They sting worse every single time they revisit me. And they rob me of my energy. They rob me of a quality good life. So we can get to that point, but we've got to do the work. And when you get to the point where you're like, aha, this is what resonates with my soul. Sometimes you'll fall off track. Like you've probably seen me fall off track. But then you get back on and you realize this resonates with my soul. And then once you realize what resonates with your soul, the more you can do it. And the more you can gain back your power. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean gaining your power back to figure out who you are in this world and following your potential. Because when you've got so many layers in your onion, right? The book that I'm writing, The Layers of an Onion. When you've got so much trauma stored in the layers, like an onion. Because if you've seen the layers of an onion, there's a lot when you cut it. Each trauma can be stored in that layer. And if you walk around with trauma stored in those layers without addressing those layers, you're walking around with a wounded soul, pretty much. So what do? You expose those traumas, you lift those layers up, and you recognize where they might have come from, how they got stored in there, and how they're affecting you to this day. How are they affecting you in your decision making and your relationships and how you handle your relationships, right? Because I feel, honestly, like your soul automatically rejects something, right? Rejects something, and whether that be blowing up at somebody or isolating or doing unhealthy, coping skills. And honestly, I found in this world that two broken souls can be under one roof. I've learned that for the last 11 years. Two broken souls. So you've got one person, let's just say me. And then you've got a second person, meaning my spouse. My spouse has also inequities that he carried on from his family, his parents, right? And I do as well. So when we both come together under one roof, we're carrying all of those inequities, those unhealed traumas. And then we try to be a couple. And if you were never really shown what a healthy relationship was, and if you also are dealing with inequities and unhealed trauma, and you try to make a relationship work, you're constantly fighting against each other because you both have inner childs that are wounded. So I've learned with my healing, right, is God. I've also learned with my healing is taking a breath, because I've learned that when I am in rage or I want to prove a point, I talk really fast and I want to get right to the point. And I just, my whole inside is like, ooh, like it's freaking out. So it just wants to get it out, right? So taking a moment to force yourself to be gentle and pause and breathe when you're talking. Also spirituality. I think learning about like archangels, connecting with the universe, with my heart. And I don't mean people or idols. I mean connecting with the universe itself, looking at the stars at night, looking at the moon, feeling the ground below me. Also, learning about recently Ayurvedic medicine. It's been around for a while. Learning about your dosha or yoras. So mine's Veda. So there's certain things that you can eat, like vegetables, certain things that will keep that Veda energy leveled. There's also a Pitta dosha and Kapha dosha. So depending on which dosha you are, just learning about you as a person, right? Because life is so busy. And just learning about what triggers you, what helps you to decompress. Is it writing? Is it writing poetry? Is it coloring? Is it drawing? Is it dancing? Is it running? Is it singing? What is it that helps ease that pent up energy? Once you're in a pent up energy mode, somebody who comes to confront you, of course, you're already at war. You already have that pent up energy. So, of course, an argument's going to start. But learning to just become healed, learning what your characteristics are as a person. What is it that you love about yourself? What is it that you love? Do you love flowers? Do you love the color pink? What is it that you love? And once you become a solid, healed person, I believe that you can be the best person that you can be. And if that takes a couple years to learn, unfortunately, some of us take that time, like myself. It's been 30 years that I've started to learn about who Brittany is, where my place is in this world, who I am. And it isn't in other men. It isn't in alcohol. It isn't in drugs. I'm learning about who I am because nobody else can define me. No other man can define me. No other house can define me. No other place can define me. Nothing outside of myself can define me. It comes within. So just want you to take a moment and just listen to these words and just think about your life and think about yourself and just sit with your soul for today. Sit with your soul and just hear it out. Hear what it's telling you. Just listen to your soul. Does it need a drink? Does it need something to eat? Does it need some rest? Listen to it, because that's your friend. You're your own friend. And you need to do what it needs to learn to become your friend of your soul. Because no one is going to probably be able to complete your soul and fill it up where its voids are. So I think learning about yourself, minus the outside distractions. We're always going to have distractions in this world. It can be a fire, could be, parents arguing. We're always going to have distractions that distract us away from who we're supposed to be, who our soul is. We're always going to have those distractions. But learning to stay focused, right? And listening to your soul. Listen to what it needs. What does it need today? Does it need some comfort? Does it need some rest? Again, listen to what it needs. It's going to tell you what it needs. And you need to be its friend, because that's part of healing. So I just want to, again, I keep saying more things because more things are coming to my mind. But I just felt like I needed to share that information with you this morning. So, on this note, thank you for listening, and I hope something I've said this morning resonates with you, and that you can just become more aware as a person. And this is nothing to change, your soul, what is already planted in it, but some tools to help you become more aware as you go about your day. So if I can make a difference, that's all that matters to me. So again, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and hope you can bring some peace to your soul today.